Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, live. I can't see it. I'm trying to look for it live. People are already joined it, but I can't see it on my page. But do you see it on your page? Okay, I see it. I'm sharing now.
Okay.
Hello. Uh, Good evening, good afternoon, good night. I don't know what time is wherever you are. This is Tuka Baribo here, coming to you live, from the state. I'm here with my friends, and, my brother Benjamin and my brother Loveday. We are come to have a discussion on the forthcoming election, the election that is coming this Saturday in Nigeria. So we want to speak to our Nigerian brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers. This is our take in the election that is coming up. Hopefully, you will lend us our ears. As you join, let us know where you are joining from. You can leave your comment. Leave your comment in the comment section. If you have any question, leave it for us to see. We will be able to find time to get to discuss it. So we want to start. So I want to especially and once again welcome you, my friends. We are all great citizens of Nigeria, and we are the election. This presidential election is important to us. I know it's important to you. So we want to have this discussion. So Brody, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and for inviting me. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah.
yes. Bro Benjamin, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you for making me be part of this discussion.
Yes. So, viewers, as you join, let's share the broadcast, and we are going to start. So, we are in it together. The election, the campaign has come and is ending. So we are awaiting the election next weekend. So you've all heard what each of the presidential election candidates and the governorship candidates, those who have been campaigning, have said. And it becomes very important that we as citizens, we as Nigerians, we from our various local government or districts, um, stand to make our choice, stand to be well informed. And, that's why we are here today, to have this discussion, to add to everything that have been said, and everything that is being said. So this election is very critical, and many have said it's an issue of it's an issue that borders on our existence. So how well we are going to live depends on what we do with this election. Without even saying, everybody's feeling the heat right now. I'm thinking that we are looking forward to a time where we want to cool down. If we are enjoying the heat, then probably maybe we don't need to do nothing. But if we are not enjoying the heat and we desire to cool down, then it behooves us to be mindful of the decisions we make by the end of the day. So I want to start this discussion today by looking at what Obasanjo said, and I would like you to chime in, my friends. Obasanjo says something. He says Nigeria is not what it should be today, and if anybody say anything to the contrary, that person, he or her, will need to be examined. His or her head will need to be examined. So, and that statement is very, is unique. Nigeria is not what it should be today. If you say Nigeria is what it should be today, then Obasanjo is saying that we need to examine your head, whether your head is correct or not. So I don't know. What do you think? What do we think about that statement? Do we think that Obasanjo is right? Do we think that Nigeria is what it should be today? Or we think that Nigeria is not what it should be today? So I don't know who wants to go first. Maybe Benji, you want to just come in there and see what do you think? What's your take?
Well, I think Obasanjo is right. Being a leader that have led Nigeria for many times, he sees the state of Nigeria, where Nigeria was before and where Nigeria is today. And Obasanjo himself know that he has failed in some instances, which he realized what he's supposed to bring as a leader to Nigeria, and he failed. That is where it's coming from. And I will say, this is my own opinion, that in order for him to remedy what he's supposed to do and he did not do it. He think that this is the time to correct the error that him himself and other previous leaders of Nigeria have failed, the error they have made. And if I follow him, at a point, he has seen that this is the only time and the only option that we have, and him being a leader, a father to the nation Nigeria, that the mistake that him and other leaders have made have to be fixed now, have to be corrected now. And he speaks from his heart, sincerely. And if Nigerian people can listen to Obasanjo, it's not being biased. It's not just being said, saying what he said, but he's speaking from his heart. And he's saying it because he knew that if he did not do it now, posterity will not forgive him. So he have to do what is right. So he's very correct.
All right, thank you. You said it. You said it. So well. So I know we all have different views. So, but we are looking at this together. So maybe I should give Brolov a chance to, tell us what you think.
I mean, I agree with the last speaker, Benjamin. I do agree that he's right to say that Nigeria is not where it should be. My perspective is when you think about the resources that Nigeria has, we're talking about natural resources. You and I know we come from the area that brings, some of these resources that, that produces so much revenue, that is enough to build that nation. And then you also think about the human resources. I mean, just the capacity that over 200 million people in that country. We're here, we see Nigerians doing great things in the US, doing great things in Canada, Australia, in the UK. There are Nigerians in almost every area. The statistics has it that out of every 4 Black person on earth, one person is a Nigerian, one is a Nigerian. So every field, in every area that you will see that Nigerians are making strides and doing great. So should the country itself be where it is today? No, I agree. It shouldn't be. But I think, and Lawrence, this is why I like maybe you introduce that later, but the book that you kind of showed me, what our own collective responsibility is to build communities, and to build our nation, or the nation Nigeria, just as we've contributed to build this nation also, where we are. And I do agree that Nigeria is not where it should be. Now, I would say though, where I would differ with the last speaker a little bit is to say, Obasanjo, when he came as a man that had suffered, went through terrible times before he became the president of the nation. He did his best to try to build, the nation, put the nation in a certain trajectory at the time when he was coming. When he was there, he went around the world, to speak to launder the image of Nigeria. He got loans forgiven, put in place policies that will bring, bring about, helping the country. He brought in some some activists to come help him. He opened the doors to, other people. He fought governors that he thought were corrupt. He did a lot of things. But like we know, no one person, we don't expect that within 4 or 8 years that every ill with the country is going to be corrected. But, it's a process. It's a process of getting better almost every day. So I would think that he has done his own. He had to fight, like some things coming up now in this election. We are hearing that he even had to fight and beg people to even be allowed to contest for the second time. So that it wasn't like, he was just as he was when he was a military person. He can command, and then what he says is final authority. In a democratic setting where he has to have buy-in from other people, he needed, all the support. So I think within that, premise, he did his own. What does he want to do now? His support, like we know, of, say, Peter Obi as a person, as a candidate. He has his views and his ideas, and the reason why he thinks that people should support, Peter Obi. The Nigerian people are going to look at all that and make their analysis. But I agree with him, not to take too much time. I agree that the country shouldn't be where it is today. We have too much resources. We have, the knowledge and where we are in terms of the people and natural resources to be able to build a better nation and a stronger nation than the way Nigeria is today.
Thank you. Well said. Not to overflow this, and I think you have made some valid point, and I also want to agree with the fact that Nigeria is not where it should be today. There is no way Nigeria can be should be where it is today, because like what Loveday said, considering the amounts of wealth, considerable resources that we have as a nation that most countries don't have. There's no need why, there's no reason why anybody would think that Nigeria is where it should be today. And this had to factor in to this election as people go to the pool. You must need to now ask these questions or echo these questions yourself. Do you think Nigeria is where it is today? If that doesn't affect or determine how you cast your vote, and don't you know what will? If you asking or echoing the question that is Nigeria where it should be today, if that will not be a determining factor to how you cast your vote, I don't know. So we must know, you must know that yes, Nigeria could be better. But it is where it is today. It is what it is today for some reasons. You can better tell it than I can. You know the reasons than I do. Because I am here in the State and you are there in Nigeria. And for just for the record, we want to speak to you, all of you in Nigeria, because the presidential election is something that's cut across the states. We also want to speak to our brothers and sisters in Rivers State, because we are from Rivers State. And not only from Rivers State, we also want to speak to our people in Ogoni, because also we are from Ogoni. We are in solidarity with your aspiration. We are in solidarity with your pains. We are in solidarity with whatever you are going through. And we want to, encourage you. I'm sure by now, most of you are sleeping. You'll be sleeping because we started our broadcast late, so most of you are asleep. So by the time you wake up, you probably will have access to this broadcast. And we want to say that we feel your pain. we, we feel what you are going through, and we are saying, like we have discussed, that we agree Nigeria is not where it should be. And we are also want to believe that that should be a factor in how we make our decision come next Saturday in the forthcoming election. Like you all know, a bag of rice, how much it used to be before. Maybe 8,000, 10,000 naira. How much is a bag of rice today? Maybe 40,000, 50,000. It is true, Nigeria is not where it should be. How much do people used to buy? Does a gallon of fuel used to cost? Maybe 10, 50 naira, 70 naira, 80 naira per gallon. How much is a gallon of fuel today? 400, 500. You tell better. So I agree, Nigeria is not where it should be. It's not what it should be today. What about where can I end? In the jobs, the security, the amount of level of insecurity, the level of impunity, the level of everything that is going on is over the roof. So I agree, Nigeria is not where it should be today. So I want to appeal to you. I think if you think about this, it will help you when you go to pool. If you agree that Nigeria is not what it should be, it's not where it should be, I believe that party voting, or ethnicity voting, or religious voting will be irrelevant. Rather, we should look forward to how we can change it from what it is today, how we can change Nigeria, change our state, change our community from what it is today. So before we go to the next point, I don't know if anybody wanted to add anything before we go to the next point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say a point here. Yes, as we say that, but it comes to the point also where it is politics. A lot of people used to say every politics is local. I think I've heard that quoted before. All politics is local. I think Joe Biden is one that I heard recently. He also said that all politics is personal. It's not just local. What that means is, what do Nigerians want? What do they want to see in the country? We talked a little bit about some of the candidates in the past and what they bring, their experiences. People have talked about character. People have talked about experience. People have talked about. So I think in this time, people should be informed as to, just voting. Like you said, it's not just about, maybe where somebody comes from but people have to be informed as to why they are voting for this person. What is this person's promise, to them? And have they kept promises before in the past? What is their antecedents? Kind of what are the things when they say they will do something, have they kept that promise? So I think that's some of the things, that, they say history is prologue, right? So past behavior is a good predictor of, how somebody else will do something, maybe in the future. So if we look at these candidates, that are contesting election in Nigeria, how would their policy impact you? So those are some of the things that, the people should be able to look at in making their choice and their decision as to who they want to vote for. Because whoever they vote for is going to control the resources of that country for the next 4 years, and it's also going to be able to create that enabling environment either for progress or for anarchy. So it depends, so the people have to make a choice. and
All right.
make it wisely.
Okay. Thank you. Well said. And that brings us to the issue of choice. Obasanjo also say that everybody has a choice. You either choose right or you choose wrong. You either choose right or you ignore to choose wrong. So what are some of the, if we know that we either choose right, or ignore to choose right and choose wrong, what do you think are some of the factors? What are those things that could lead people to want to choose right when it is clear that they should choose wrong? We have established the fact that the country is not where it should be. Sorry, the country is not where it should be. So it now boils down to the problem of choice. So if we have to choose, and if we agree that the country is not where it should be, then we should think that people should choose right. So what are some of those things that make people to choose wrong? Why would some people know to choose right, but they will still choose wrong? Why?
Well,
Benji,
I mean,
let Benji take off.
okay.
Yes. Let me go back to what I said earlier. Why Obasanjo have noticed that the country is not where the country is supposed to be. As I mentioned earlier, saying that Obasanjo, not only Obasanjo, other leaders that came before Obasanjo failed Nigeria. Even Obasanjo himself noticed that. We are all human and we all made mistakes. We all make wrong decisions, at each point. How and where we found ourselves. Obasanjo, there are things that would have done differently to make Nigeria be in more better position when he left. But perhaps he didn't do it. And for him realizing now and see how deteriorating the country is going, he has decided to come out boldly that if this is not fixed, posterity will not forgive him as a leader, not just a leader, a father. That's why he has come out to support P2B. He did not just support P2B. He knows that P2B is the only right candidate that can remedy Nigeria, save Nigeria now with the current situation that Nigeria finds herself. So, and with all these candidates that are out before us, we have listened to each and every one of them. We have checked what each and every one of them have done in Nigeria, in the state where they serve, or in their own private business or businesses, and understand them. Even though we don't understand everything about them, but the one that is obvious, we have seen and learned and hear from them. This is my own personal opinion.
So why do you think that people are going to vote wrong, make the wrong choice when they know to make the right choice?
The reason why people make wrong choices is this issue of some people have been so indoctrinated to their party of a thing that is like a cord court, like a court, that this is my party. I belong to APC. I belong to PDP. I belong to this party A or B or Z. But this time around, it shouldn't be so. Based on the state that the country is now, as we have been hearing that this is not the time for party. And again, secondly, hunger. Our politicians have made our nation and our people so poor. Hunger, poverty. And when they see little money that is being given to them just to vote for them, they accept it. And they vote even to the candidate they don't even feel like voting for. Hunger, poverty.
Okay, thank you. Brother, you want to come in?
Yeah, I mean, for me, you say, why do people make wrong choices in a political election? First and foremost, it depends. What you are trying to do here today is your own contribution to at least better inform the people, to make choices carefully, right? To think before they make their choices. And I know that, like Benji has said it clearly here, he loves, he thinks Peter Obi is the person that he wants to see based on the antecedents of the past, where he ruled, I'm not really looking at it from that perspective. I think my perspective, basically, and it's not just to take hook, line, and sinker, everything that the past president of Nigeria, President Obasanjo, said, I appreciate his own leadership, what he did at the time within the period that he had to, or what he had to do, and how, things he did subsequently. So I understand that. But basically what I'm trying to say is it's personal. It's interest. And then some is clearly the people are not educated. They don't understand their choice, and I've said this before, if somebody is in need of something and that politician offers him or her that particular thing, and they're not thinking about the future, the systems, because for me, I think my heart will be for a country just like we enjoy here in the United States, a country that has systems that are in place, that irrespective of the ideological differences, there are certain things that are standard. And that's because there are institutions and systems that are in place to, no matter how corrupt a person is, the systems in place would be able to checkmate or to hold. So if Nigeria, I'm concerned, because when we begin to think that a person becomes the Messiah, most times we get it wrong. Because I think that it's about building systems that anyone can come and operate within that system. Right here we know that any leader that comes has their degree of freedom is reduced, which means the office compels them to act in certain ways. But
if I get from what you are saying, which is a point, I don't want to rush you on that. I want to expand to take your time, let that sink in. You made something to a point that is very valid, and that is the issue. The point that Nigeria doesn't have a system. We don't have a system that protects that protect the institutions, or institution that protects departments or the states or the nation, You know, there is no system that is in place, you know, that ensure that things are done right. So, you know, this party can come up
Oh,
and do their own thing. And
yes.
if they are thrown out, the other person come in and do their own thing. So there is no continuity. There is no, you know, standard. So I think that is a serious issue. That is a serious problem. Why things are erratic, why things are not standard, are not stable, why people see the right choice to make and then still go ahead and make the wrong choice, because there is no template, there is no standard, there is no system in place that protects the institution, that protects the government, that the governing bodies in the country. Benji, you were trying to say something.
Okay. Please, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You know, Bro Love, they just make a very valid point. Valid point talking about system. And that is where I am still referring back. Not that we have to dwell on this point. That is a very valid point that there is no system in place in Nigeria. And system is what, you know, form democracy like we are enjoying here in the United States. Because United States have a system that checkmate any politician, be it president, be it governor, be it senators or Congress people. There's a system in place. Why I still go back to Obasanjo and other leaders, we can accept that they tried their best, but they did not try enough. Why am I saying they did not try enough? When Nigeria moved from the military to democracy, these are the systems that Obasanjo and others that have ruled under democracy dispensation would have set in place, put up a system that will guide. No matter whether you are the president, there is a system that will guide you. That would have been number one thing that they should have done. Just like when you are building a house, you want to have a solid house based on the foundation you put down. You have to put foundation, lay your solid foundation before start laying your block up. When the foundation is wrong, that house can collapse at any time. And that is the situation Nigeria is facing because of failed foundation. So
but people will argue. But people will argue that we have constitution. So
yeah,
they are going to based on constitution.
Yeah, I agree. We have constitution. We do have also certain systems that Obasanjo put in place, like the EFCC, you know, which was to checkmate corruption, and some other things, you know, some other places, you know. But I think you were going to say something about values, so I'm going to say, yes. I'm just going to leave until you bring that up, because that has a part to play.
Let me bring that up now. While we are doing, so that you can tie it in. Because, you know, if people have the choice have the opportunity of making the right choice, and yet they will go ahead and make wrong choice, you know, then it speaks to an internal problem, which is a problem of values, you know. Because when there are proper values in place, you will call white, white, and you will call black, black. You will see what is bad, and you will say that, condemning that this is bad. And you will see what is good, and you will say that, yes, this is good. But where there are no values, you will see somebody that is good, somebody that is qualified, somebody that has everything you want. And you have this other person that doesn't have anything that you are looking forward to. Is not qualified, you know. But you will still leave this person that is qualified and go ahead and choose the person that is not. Somebody that can do the job, you will not choose the person. But the person that cannot do the job is the person you want to root for. I think that is an internal issue, and that's the problem of values. So, it appears to me that we have very serious problem with value systems. Nigerians doesn't have values that we can depend and rely on. And even to add to that, to be able to answer that, the problem of that is at stake in this election, is it the problem of leadership or politicians, or the problem of the people? Okay, is it the problem at stake here as we go into the poll next Saturday? Is it a leadership problem, politician problem, or the general citizen, the ordinary citizen, everybody in the country that that is the problem?
Well,
And I think for you to answer to tie that speak to values.
yes.
So yeah, go ahead.
In order not to beat around the bush, the problem is not the politicians, it's the people. When the people are not ready to make the right choice, then they continue to make the wrong choice. Like you said, you and me live in the United States. We have the Republican and we have the Democrat.
And independent.
And independent. Yes, but the prominent one is Republican, Democrat, or independent. Mm-hmm. Anytime any party that is in power, whether in Congress or in the White House or in the Senate, that they are not doing the right thing, the people rise up here in the US and they will vote that party out and vote the right party in. And not just the party, the individuals they are voting for. They vote the right people, vote the other party out. But in our place of birth, Nigeria, we see that. That is why I say our people, they are so clinched to their party. Mm. They don't check whether is my party doing well on their promise, what they promised during their campaign. Are they doing it or they are not doing it? Or they just said that in order to get vote. And when they get into the office, that is the end. We don't care. At every season of campaign, they will still come and deceive the people. And the people fall to it. And they go back and vote the same people that have failed in their previous promises. Then you will know that you cannot put the blame on the politician, but it's on the people because they are not making the right choice. You and me, we live here in the United States. No politician can come out and promise and say, I will fix this road, or I will fix this hospital, or I will fix this school. And when they get into that office, they don't do it, and they win that they win their second term. They cannot. They will be voted out, and they will vote the right person in. That is how America, that is why I love American democracy. Until we grow up to that, then the people can know that the power is in their hands and not in the hands of politicians. So you don't blame the politician, you blame the people that keep on making the wrong choices.
Good. Olave, want to come in there? Your network was off and on. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So the value system, basically, I think one of the things that we've seen is that we want to practice democracy without the values that make democracy work. Some of those values are the fact that the basic care for the people. And because one of the things I think that affects the values, of Nigerians contributing or voting the right person or the person that they think that can actually help, some of the things that I see is, one, they don't feel that the politicians are accountable to them. They don't see how they can hold the politicians, accountable. There's no accountability. There's the respect for leadership. There's the respect for, okay, this person is a leader, and so people don't basically actually hold the political leaders, accountable for their actions. And so that some of those values also will be, you know the way it is when even a mayor or somebody have an affair outside of his marriage. There is a political leader in our communities, the person is removed. That's not the case in Nigeria. Actually, they can use state coffers, state money to go and do other things and not care about some of these things.
Impunity.
Exactly. And so the value system is not there. So it's like nobody holds anybody accountable for those moral issues. And, I think that when you think about leaders, I had the privilege to kind of go to President Bush's library, George W. in Dallas at some point. And in that, he was talking about the future and talking about his faith and why his faith was important to him in politics, because he expects that his morality and the things that he does, his faith governs those stuff. So if he's not moved from that perspective of conviction to do the right thing for somebody, then his leadership cannot be maybe people oriented. You think it will be more like selfish as to what he can gain instead of what he can contribute. So it's easy for us to say, okay, these guys should be able to contribute this, but what's their value? What's their value system? What do they hold there? What does their religion teach? What does their faith teach them? And just not to use religion. And you can tell that if either of these people, irrespective of the religion, because they teach certain basic human human principles that or value systems that if somebody adheres to them, they will treat the next person right and have a responsibility that office they hold. They have a responsibility not just to the people, but even to their creator. So somebody have something that is beyond them, that gives them the added impetus to do right, knowing fully well that this is just beyond, it's not just, the people that they are leading now, but they're also accountable to the one who gave them the opportunity to lead. So I think some of those values are the things that I would want to see, the people looking to their leaders or the people that they want to vote for, see if they have those kind of values, and support those that they think.
Yeah. What? Go ahead.
Yes. Just to add to what Loveday is saying, we're talking about. He just mentioned about our politicians there. We have to call it what it is in Nigeria. That they are our senators, our House of Representatives, or House of Assembly, whatever, governors, which capacity they are serving. You see what is going on there. Sometimes when we talk about a system that is not functioning, is broken. When we talk about system in America, we know about this just here in Washington, D.C., the mayor that was found with about $90,000 in his refrigerator. They consider it as a bribe. When FBI burst in, search and find that he spent time in jail. We are talking about just $90,000. That's what we are talking about. compare, this is where you say that system is working. Then you talk about our country, Nigeria. We hear a snake swallow billions and nobody go to jail. We see politicians in Nigeria that money is stuck in the cemetery. Have you seen any country that money is buried in cemetery while the people languish in poverty and hunger? Any country that buried money in a cemetery, that country is already a dead country. Because you take the resources that's supposed to build the nation, build people up, create jobs, build infrastructures, and you take that money and go and bury in cemetery. That means you're burying that country. Some of them put money in water tank and hang. Some of them put money in sockaway pit. Which country function in that way? A country that have no system, no accountability. We talk of EFCC. Are they doing their job? The EFCC that they will send or report a crime that have been committed. Then when they get there, they got bribe and they leave to do their job. Here in the United States where we are, you and me know that when FBI come after you
You're in
for any
trouble.
crime, you are done. If they find that you really committed, you are in for it. And that is where the system in the US is working. It's working and is working the way it should. So
because the leaders are held accountable.
Yeah, they are held accountable.
By law.
The system is working. You cannot play around or go around the system. It's working. These are the systems that we as a people have to hold our leaders accountable to put this system working. Judges in Nigeria, how can a judge
but you will think that maybe the system, we don't, apart from the fact that we don't have system, but we consider, Nigeria as over 50% Christian. So even if there is no system working, you will think that we should have values for the mere fact that we are believers. Values that speak to us or speak from us, saying no to bribery, no to corruption, no to doing things, in such a way that doesn't speak to who we are. For instance, you all know how it's difficult to get your PVC, even to get the PVC done or get an international passport. These things are done in the department, in the ministry. But could you believe that, it's difficult to actually be able to walk into a ministry and ask for your right, which is getting the document that you want done for you. Okay. You must need to pay a bribe.
Brother Tuka, sorry, I am not cutting you.
Yes.
But this is why, and what what I'm saying, that the foundation is what matters a lot in anything you do. The foundation. Because our foundation is not solid. We build it on the wrong, we build Nigeria on the wrong foundation. When we are talking about system in function and working in the United States, there is a law, and that law is being enforced, that you don't bribe or take bribe. In the US, you can never dream in your head that you want to go to this office, I want to get this thing. Oh, let me give a little thing so that I can get it faster. You know that the person that you want to give bribe will be suspecting you, that probably maybe you are an undercover agent that is coming to try, and you cannot give or the person cannot take. It's a system that is put on ground. It's a system that is being laid by this government, the United States, and other developed nations, that you cannot give bribe. I remember one time I was traveling to Nigeria. It was at Frankfurt Airport. I was there waiting for my next flight. The person with me, an elderly woman, a person, the airport attendants, this tried to help this elderly person in a wheelchair to the waiting room, waiting hall. We got there together, and this elderly lady brought out some money and trying to give this person for the help. The attendants, the airport attendants.
Yeah.
The man refused to take. He said it clearly that we don't take money. What I did is my job. I'm just doing my job. They say, no, this is from my heart. I'm just giving you this for helping me. The man insisted that it's not taken, and he did not take. I was just there watching. I say, can you travel to Nigeria even without helping you on a wheelchair? And they will not collect money. When you are healthy with your bag, they strangle you to death at the airport. But there in Frankfurt, airport attendants refused to take a tip. I'm saying a tip. We call it here tip. He refused. Say it turns as a bribe.
Okay.
So
okay. That
system. That's
what,
a system that is there.
well said. Well said. So the issue is, we don't have a system in place that checkmate the excesses of either the general populace or the politicians. And from what
No,
we are saying, we are saying that the problem
may I say
of
something?
the election is.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we do have certain
Systems,
laws
yeah,
and bodies
yeah.
that if enforced can begin to build.
Why are they not enforced? Then why are they not enforced? See, I think
that's where we came to certain values that we have within
the
ourselves.
systems. The police, is a system. The army is a system. The immigration is a system. The INEC is a system. The court is a system. Supposedly they are there, but they are not there. Why? Because there are no values. One of the things why we say that we have system in place in the Western world is because there are values. These values are taught, and people have come to grow up with that value of what is right to do. And value is important because in nation building, if people does not have value, they cannot build a nation. So if people does not have value in this election, as they go to the poll on that Saturday, without value, they will do exactly what Obasanjo said, that you have a choice. You can choose to vote the right candidate. And also you can choose not to vote the right candidate. So why is it that when you have a chance to be able to vote the right candidate, you still go ahead and vote the wrong candidate? It's the problem of value.
Can I give an answer to that very quick?
Yeah, go ahead. And then
I think one of the answer to that is selfish interest. Selfish interest. When we people will be going to the poll on Saturday. Well, I think Brother Loveday talk about interest, but sometimes interest can be in a different categories. There are interests for the nation, and there are interests that is selfish. When it's selfish is what I can benefit, what I can gain, and not what can benefit the nation, what can benefit everybody. The right candidate that can do something for everybody, and not just what you think that you personally can gain off. Its interest and selfish interest is the motive of people making wrong choices.
So let's say this. I agree that we all agree that there are interests, and every political campaign is about promises, and then every form of alliance, political alliance or whatever, is based on interest. When people's interests align, one thing also that we're talking about value is most times Nigerians don't see themselves as one people.
Mm.
Because we are talking about a country with so many languages, diverse culture, right? And that was where part of those systems and values that we are trying to say, was, the principle of equity. Because why is it that there's been no change? Why is it that, some people, once they're in power, they feel like, oh, you must bring something to your community? Because we don't see ourselves as one people.
Mm.
That's one valid point. And as much as that is the reality that there are different languages and different localities and ethnicities, which like people will tell you, you don't choose where you're born to, or you don't choose your ethnicity or your language. You're born into a community. So, but having said that, when there are so many imbalances in the system, when things are not equitable, that's why you and I will champion, oh, it would have been okay too, because we think that is some of the things that is here now is not only, let's say for instance, Peter Obi and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some of their claim now is that, hey, it's a time for this presidency to come to the South, to understand, to keep that principle of equity and balance and respect, for every community, to know that every community has the ability, and to also lead. And if others have been led, that these other communities that have not led also, if they have been following, there's also time for them to lead, especially also when they have, someone who has the ability also to lead and has shown and demonstrated some capacity to lead appropriately. And that's some of the things that's going for Peter Obi as a person coming from the Southeast that has not produced the president of Nigeria for such a long time, in this political dispensation. And one of that. So you can see that those things also are things that Nigerians also began to say because of the peculiarity of the nation. Because remember that we understand that Nigerians are also attached to their land and their community. You and I,
Okay. Okay.
So, okay.
Okay. So
yes. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So because I wanted to say, so that's kind of, Tinubu also says, hey, he's also from the South, he's not led. And then there are other things, other dynamics that comes in, to, okay, what do we have? What's the balance of the ticket? What's this? So there are lots of things that are in play in terms of politics. It's interest. You cannot diverse your interest from, because at the end of the day, basically, at the end of the day, let's cut this down to the facts. Is where the election is about electing people that are going to control the resources of the country and direct where development or things go to.
Okay, so let me tie into that. Let me tie into that because of time.
Yes, let me make this point and I'll stop.
Bro, Lovely, please, I just want to
hold on, let him finish. Let him conclude.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm coming to you guys area. What I mean? Because I know this lends, credence to, the person that you guys support, in terms of presidency. But what I'm trying to say is, some of these things lends, some of these things are the reasons why the competing interest and the fact that when you come to a political alliance or to build or support somebody, I want to ask you, if you're coming to me to support a particular person, how does that translate to the development of the people that I represent? If
Yeah,
it doesn't
thank you.
translate,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
you are now saying I can support based on just me as a person if I see that, but I cannot tell the people that I represent, that listen to me, that God has given me influence with. I can tell them to come to this side when I can explain how that will
Okay.
impact their life.
Okay, we have spent some time, so we'll do
Yeah,
an
please, can I
end of.
just point out one thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I love the this claim of it's my turn because I'm from here. If I can check back, actually P2B have not really talked about my turn because I am from Igbo. I'm from the southeast. The only time he mentioned that I check his interview, he said that people are saying Ominoko, that is my turn. That if actually we are following my turn, he is the one that's supposed to claim that is his turn because he's from the south, south
Yes.
east, and it's a place that presidency have never arisen from that area. That is supposed to be the one to make that claim, but he is not making that claim because of where he came from. So for some people say it's my turn. So that is the time I hear him talk about that because I have followed him and listened to him. He has not made that
But
claim.
I think that is not politically to his advantage to come from that perspective as well.
Yes. So
But
he
go
has
ahead.
not made he didn't make that claim that people should vote for him because of he came from there. But what he is running on is what he has done and character, capacity, and others. Not
Competence.
competence, not where he came from. The only person I have heard clearly that they should vote for him that is his turn is Tinubu. Tinubu and Atiku also have mentioned that nobody will vote for P2B because no Northerners will vote for him. So these are the people that have claimed, like because of where they came from, that they will be elected. So P2B have not claimed that. Well, that is not what we are here for
Okay.
tonight, or that is
Okay.
not what we are talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Okay. Just
No,
to
no,
add,
but I
just
think
brother,
it's
hold on,
important for equity.
let me add to that as we are on this point now because we are spending some time now. We need to just do and round up because people back home don't have the data. Well, this is our voice, our own contribution, our advice, our counsel, our discussion on the election that is coming. We hope that people will be well informed. We understand that Nigeria is not what it should be, so we need to make it what it should be. And looking at the candidates, whether it's Atiku, Tinubu, and Peter Obi being the three major contenders right now, we want to ask ourselves who can better deliver the Nigeria of our dream. We need to just put aside our party because we have been voting party for over how many years? Over how many years we've been voting? Over 20 years we've been voting party. And then we are getting worse and worse and worse. And the funny thing is that the same people that we have now, especially Atiku and Tinubu, have been in power for the past over 16 years, or for the past minimum of 16 years. They have been
No,
in power.
Tinubu has been in power for only 8 years. He was governor for 8 years.
No, I mean, yeah, if you add that governor, then the time he has been in governor is longer. But even throughout Jonathan, Tinubu was still in power because he was controlling Lagos State. He brought in. I
He
mean,
had no elected office.
he had not elected, but he was still in power. These are the people that are behind the scene. So that reminds me that
Tinubu
the issue.
ruled for 8 years. He had
Yeah,
no this thing.
he ruled for.
Atiku
I'm not
was
talking
there
about
for
the
eight
time he
years.
ruled. I'm not
He had
talking
no
about the time
other
he ruled.
thing.
I'm just only considering from Jonathan. You don't have been in power just even from Jonathan. Not necessarily that he has an elected office. No, at least a party chairman and at least a stakeholder. You know,
he has interest. He's a politician.
He's a stakeholder. So and they've had their time. They had their opportunity, and yet things are not getting better.
Tinubu had never contested for presidency.
Hold on. I would think that because we are talking about Nigeria not being what it should be, because we are talking about the value system that is lacking in Nigeria and the many things that is at stake, then we should consider what next. I think that in this election on Saturday, we should focus on who can deliver Nigeria we want, who is young, energetic, that don't need to spend half, of his tenure in Europe or America for medical tourism, who can be almost at all the states, if need be, every day, attending to crucial and important issues, whose manifesto or agenda speak to the kind of Nigeria that we want. If I'm allowed to be biased, I would say that, there is no reason why Nigerians should not vote for Peter Obi, Labour Party, at least on the presidential level, But apart from that, we have, some other interests in the state level, like those of us in the River State. Let's come to that.
Yeah.
Right.
But let me say some. Let me contribute to that.
I'll give it a chance.
Okay.
I'll give it a chance. Right from the inception of, the governorship or leadership in River State, Ogoni people and other ethnic tribes have not been given a chance, even though, we are, one of the, populated, we are more in number, in the state, and I will desire that, that this election, though we are looking at capacity, we should focus on competence, who can deliver the kind of state we want. If I have the opportunity to also say, I would say that Ogoni people and River State people should give Magnus Abe a chance. I will seriously do that, because the bottom line is, who can be there as a governor or as a president, and we change the status quo. We end this impunity, this corruption. We end this transactional politics. Who can be there to serve the people, not the cabals, not the allies? And that's where the general citizen should have sense. Everybody should have sense, because they can come to you and give you 10,000 naira, 2,000 naira to go and vote. And then the next 8 years, you are on your own. This is no longer the time for that. So I want to plead with all of you. Who do you think, who do you know, who do you see that has the record that you can trust, that has the character that you can trust, that has the compassion that is going to serve you, not to punish you? Because leadership, whether you are a president or a governor, it's not supposed to make you the CEO. You are supposed to be the servant. So I'll give you that time to, let's say,
okay. Let me
2 minutes, 3 minutes, and we'll just round up because we have spent some time.
Okay, let me contribute to this, and I'm going to say something a little bit about the presidency, and then I'll say something about the state as well. I think my perspective and my viewpoint is this. First and foremost, we cannot come and say that principle of equity does not apply for the presidency, and then we now come back to the state and say principle of equity should apply. We are saying
equity applies to all across the board.
Okay, good. Yeah. So no, because I think you guys made a mention the fact that this guy has not said anything about equity, Peter Obi. But let me say this, I think for me as a person, the interest of people that I'm going to, let's say, for instance, if I'm going to speak to people and talk to people, I know certain things that have been that those people, that the people that I represent, or that I have certain relationships with, in terms of that look to me to give maybe an opinion as to where they should go, is to say, listen, first and foremost, we have to analyze these candidates. On the presidency, there are 3 candidates. Atiku had been a vice president of Nigeria. He should know he ruled with Obasanjo. He should know how or what certain things are. He has relationships all over the country. One of his, he has an Igbo wife. So some of these things are there. You look at all that, and you can point to the fact that, okay, this person, Tinubu too, like I discussed with you before, he has paid a lot of price for democracy. So he has a vision. He's done some things in Lagos. So everybody has a part to contribute. That's why I still come to Peter Obi. Everybody talks about his character and what he has done, while he was in Anambra State as a president and as a governor.
Mm.
So we see that everybody coming has something that they can contribute. I'm not going to. I don't know enough
to give a verdict. To give a verdict.
No. I don't know enough in terms of their interest as it aligns to the interests of our communities. I don't see that. I cannot categorically tell you that this is where I'm coming in. Now, for the state level, we can look at it. You can look at it, you say, from the PDP candidate, he has worked with this present governor, he has experience in that thing, and that he'll be able to carry on what this present governor is. That's what they've been selling. You have actually Pastor Toniko, who is a pastor. He and I have certain values that are the same, and actually chose an Ogoni person as his deputy, in the state. He actually in the whole state structure.
Not
the
to
APC has the best.
At this time,
no, hold on.
We don't need any deputy
No.
for Ogoni. We need the governorship for Ogoni.
No, I understand.
On the personal interest basis.
I know. You're the moderator, so you but I'm just saying to you, okay, first of all, what I'm trying to say to you is that these people have things that they are offering. Okay, so now if you come to Magnus Abe, forget about the fact that he's Ogoni. He's been a member of the House of Assembly. He's been a commissioner. He's been a secretary to the state government. He's been a senator. On paper, I'll tell you, he's the most qualified. You can't compare his experience to any other person that he's running against. Now, you can say, oh, this guy is not a politician. He's an outsider. He has values because he's a pastor, and he's a businessman. So when you look at all this, you look at the fact that what is important to the people that you are representing. Now, we know that for the principles of equity, it should favor Magnus Abe. Honestly, if you look at it from the principles of equity, you can't deny that. It's not only that, okay, you bring anybody and say, okay, equity, so because of that, he should just go. But he has the capacity, he has the experience. That principle of equity works for him. All right?
Let me not add to that.
I'm coming.
Yeah, you continue.
So you gave me 2-3 minutes. So I was trying to make sure I use my time judiciously.
Okay, go ahead.
But you can take it. You can
I was trying to. Since we are on that equity of a thing, like I agree with you. Magnus.
No, you don't know where I was going to land first.
He's overqualified. In terms of he's overqualified, and in terms of equity also, it also makes sense that the people of Rivers State should give him a chance, and for the Ogoni people too, it makes more sense. We had in terms of equity too. speaking to equity, we could say that Ogoni had not had a chance at the governorship election, and at the governorship position, and the Ogoni should put their acts together and reach out to the other communities to make sure that that is a success. So, and that speaks to the choices that we are saying, that why is it that we know who is qualified to do the job,
Okay,
who is fair,
I think I will have
given
my
a chance
time
to do the
to
job, and
comment on
yet
it, right?
we still go on
No,
the different tangent.
listen.
Ben,
You took part of my time,
Ben,
so you have to give me time
we'll
to
come back. Ben, first.
to
We'll
give
come
it to
back.
Ben. Go ahead, Ben.
Ben.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We are talking about for the presidency. I don't want to dwell on that because we almost talk. We talk much on the presidency. Coming to state and what we are talking about: equity, fairness, and justice to all in the state. For the governor of Rivers State, yes, Ogoni people have been marginalized for so long. We have not given a chance. Even when we have the most population, we have the most local government in the state, but we are not given opportunity to be governor. If we are talking about equity, which is
Fairness.
what this election 2023 based on equity, fairness, and justice, then the governor for Rivers State, we should be given that chance. Magnus Abe is well qualified to be governor, overqualified. So it's the choice of the Rivers State people to say, yes, we need fair equity, fairness for all, to be inclusive, that we are all sons and daughters of Rivers State. We have equal right. We all have the opportunity to be governor of Rivers State. Magnus Abe is overqualified to be governor of Rivers State. Then when we are talking, we have to talk it from the up down or bottom up.
Yes.
Come to our senatorial district. If we are still talking about equity, fairness, and justice, we can see and understand the Ogoni people that we are not being fair to Eleme people to be senator of that area. The time, if I could remember, that Senator Olakanwogu was a senator, was either 1 year or 2, and he was removed by court. That shouldn't happen if we are people that love ourselves and believe in equity and fairness and justice.
But who removed him by court? Who removed him by court?
Well, it was between Magnus Abe and Senator Olakanwogu. So this time around, we are having another senatorial race. They are between Ambassador Ojingofa and Senator Barry Peggy. If we can search in our hearts and say we need equity, justice, and fairness in our senatorial district, I think this time around, a chance should be given to Eleme
people.
Ojingofa, Ambassador Ojingofa should be given chance, and let us see what he can do. Personally, myself, Ojingofa.
Hold on.
Let me finish. Let me finish, please.
Let him finish.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Personally, myself. This is personal. This is on personal level.
Yeah.
You can translate your personal interaction with somebody, and you can speak on that person, whether that person is a good person or a bad person. Personally, on my own self, Ambassador Ojingofa, and whom I know and what he has done, he will be a good senator to our senatorial district. He will do something good for us. He's a good man. He's somebody I knew, and as somebody I know what he can do. So can we, as Ogoni, for equity, that we all belong, that we are one. Give a chance. This I'm not I'm not APC or PDP. It's just this time that I get involved. I'm not even a politician. I'm not a politician. It's just this time because of what is happening in Nigeria that have make me to begin to get involved in politics. I don't. But I'm talking this based on character of people. The character of person I know, Ambassador Ojingofa, not because, again, I know we are talking about equity and fairness. Yes, it might be like I'm sentiment, but I'm speaking on who I know that Ambassador Ojingofa will be a good senator to our senatorial district.
Okay.
This is the person I know.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ben. You see, we cannot address an issue on one and forget about the other one. All are important, and the good thing here is that we may not have the same interests, we may not have the same go-to person, we may not have but we are speaking to that the fact that we all need to now understand that yes, even though there are diversity of interest, that we can look at the fairness, we can look at equity, we can look at inclusivity, in the way we do politics. But what has been happening is that the politics where I'll be the senator, in this 4 years, the next year I'll be the governor, the next year I'll be the minister, the next year. So you now see where you keep recycling some people. It's not that it is bad, but at a point it becomes important that, hey, look around. You are not the only person. Okay, you are not the only person. There are others too, and we should give others a fair chance, and fair opportunity, because that's the right thing to do. For instance, if we not base this election on tribe, religion, and all that, which we cannot outrightly do away with, we can look at the incidents. Not like the north and the south.
Hold on. You're the moderator, right? So you have the time. You can synthesize all this for all of us.
Okay, let me give you a chance.
I'm going to say something.
Let me give you a chance. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say this, and then I'm going to just maybe yield the floor for you to round up or do ask any question. I think it's really been enjoyable. Thank you again for putting this together. But I'm going to say this for instance. If you can tell, I've stayed away from kind of maybe speaking to actually come out to say I support one person or the other. I just kind of want to show you the merits and demerits of maybe somebody's position or the other. And we're talking about interest. For me, it's personal. For my own interest, it's personal. I don't know if I've told you, but my own father was murdered. And he was murdered by people close to some of these politicians. And until, I don't know who those people are related to, the politicians that sponsored them or give the backings to these people. So whether it's Magnus Abe or PDP candidate or AP, I can't come out here and say I support anybody. That's my personal position. And I can tell you, based on what I know, qualities of someone in terms of their ability and what they have done before, this is why I think that this works well for this person. But who am I supporting for this election? I've stayed away from it.
Good. Thank you.
So that's kind of my position. So yeah. I'm here today to encourage people to make their choices, think about their interest, how it impacts the community. That's why, and then how it impacts the community and how they can contribute, and how those things impact them. So like what some of those things, I hear these arguments, I support. And if somebody asks me an opinion, and I think that this will help, directly, but I think that's why I'm just staying away from, irrespective of how compelling some of these things are, to say this. And then I have some leaders also back home who I know have sacrificed so much for our communities. And some of them have taken certain positions. And I want to find out too, why are they taking those positions? And then so
Okay.
without just jumping and doing something. So
Okay,
I
we
think
should
this,
end
for
now.
me, that's where I come from.
We have gone over our time.
Yeah, can
Yeah,
I have my own closing statement?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Bro Loveday, thank you. You make your point based on the system we have back home there in Nigeria, that you don't have to speak your mind, just like we speak our mind here in the United States. We can openly say, this is the person I support, and nobody will come after you to harm you. But in Nigeria, you can't do that, most especially in
No,
our
no, no, no. That's not what I
that is a
mean. And
blind, that is
listen,
blind.
listen. No, that's not what I mean. Don't. If you want to speak to that, you can speak to what you want to say, but it's not about
But
whether
you
I
just
can
go
speak
ahead.
my mind
Just go
or
ahead.
Yes,
I can speak my mind anywhere
yes,
without
yes.
any fear
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
that doesn't stop me. You know that. I've spoken my mind
Okay.
from when it was
We
even
got it.
tougher.
We got you. Let him
Yes,
continue.
Okay.
yes. So here is what we are trying to do, or what I'm trying to do. Yes, we have two credible Ogoni songs running for
Three.
the Senate. I'm trying to icon down to the Senate,
Oh, okay.
because for state we already speak our mind, but for the Senate, these are two credible sons of Ogonis running for the same office. What I am trying to put to us here is, what we have been talking for this 2023 election is equity, fairness, and justice for all. That this time around, again, I have mentioned that I don't belong to any party. I don't belong to PDP. I don't belong to APC. But I'm just speaking to what I know is right. What I know is equity. What I know is fairness. What I know is justice. That it's time to give an Elemeson a chance for that Senate seat.
Good.
So
Thank
this
you.
is my own personal opinion, and
Well
I'm
said.
putting it out here.
Well said. Well said. Yes. Because, thank you, everybody. You've been patient with us. We're just trying to do this thing, but hopefully we are coming through well. Um, it's been a nice time, talking to my friends. For the record, like my brother Ben has said, I don't belong to any political party. And I'm thinking that I should reconsider my stance on what political parties, are meant to citizens in Nigeria, because um, we had focused on this so-called political party, PDP, APC, and on the all others, that has not really moved the country forward. And I'm thinking that we should think of a better way of doing politics. So I don't belong to any political party, but I have interests based on what I've heard from the candidates. Said. I've heard Tinubu, I've heard Atiku, I've heard um, Peter Obi. In fact, in the last election, I voted for Shore, because Shore was the only person that they speak my language, and was the only person that I can see the future of Nigeria in. Then I voted for Shore, but people voted otherwise, and we are suffering today. Yes, we could be shy, we could be politically correct in our conversation in who um, we wish to be elected. But let's understand that our people seem not to know the right from the left. We still have majority of people, Nigerians, Rivers State people, Ogoni people, that will straight and directly go to vote for a candidate that is not going to bring anything to their constituency, a candidate that will not care about them, a candidate that is not for any development, a candidate that will continue the impunity. So the way we started this from Obasanjo's statement, do we agree that Nigeria is not what it's supposed to be? So if we agree, then we all need to free ourselves. You need to free yourself from PDP. You need to free yourself from APC. You need to free yourself even from Labour Party. But among all those that have presented themselves, who will take us to where we wish to go to? Who can end the insecurity? Who can end the impunity, corruption? We spend Nigerian money without stealing, embezzling, or give it to his cronies. Who will serve the Nigerian people? In my own view, I see that in Peter Obi, and that's why I boldly, without apology, will say that I will plead with my people, Nigerians, to vote in Peter Obi. And because I'm also from a state, I may not know much about many other candidates that are contesting for governorship. I know one of my townsperson, my brother, my cousin, my uncle is also in the race for governorship. But unfortunately, I'm not here trying to tell you to vote for my uncle. As bad as that is, and I wish that that could be the case, because I'm looking at who has the capacity, who has the competence, who has the record that we can refer to, even though it's good to give the upcoming a chance to show themselves, because you can't talk of record or talk of capacity, competence, all this until someone gives someone a chance. So I am saying that on the governorship race in Rivers State, we should give an Ogoni man a chance, because it ties with the capacity, it ties with the experience, it ties with the competence, it ties with everything that we want to see in Rivers State. And to crown it all, in this election, Jonathan said it. His presidency is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. So we want to appeal to you, wherever you are in Nigeria, wherever you are in Rivers State or Ogoni, no politician deserves you dying, taking your life for them to get a job, and your family be languishing in poverty. You don't have to kill for any politician. You don't have to destroy, fight, cause commotion for any politician. It is nonsense. You don't have to die for any politician. You've been dying, you've been killing yourself, you've been fighting, and yet you are still broke. I would think that if you have energy, go and get yourself a job, not to spend that energy to go and die for somebody to get a job, and then nothing is coming to you, nothing is coming to your community, nothing is coming to your children. So let us be wise. Let's look at the person that is going to do the job, person that is going to serve, person that will not embezzle the money, person that will not be indebted to this cabal, those who put them there. By the end of the day, let it be you that make the choice. Use your PVC well. So I think on that note, we want to end this broadcast, and I want to thank every one of you that will come across this broadcast. Please share it, leave your comments. Consider this as our own input. I'll consider this as our concern for the well-being of Nigeria and everybody. We want to have a better Nigeria. We want to have a new Nigeria. And except we recognize the values that can take us there, this will not be possible. I acknowledge the different interests, your different passions, but let the values, that the value system, the value that let value be our deciding factor in what in what we do. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just kind of supporting.
We are running up.
Yeah, I was supporting your argument, your call for peace.
Yes.
And for people to not kill themselves for any political ideology or any politician, to make sure that they make their choices and stay away from anything violent and anything that will cost them life, because the pain goes much more even after the election. No life, like you said, no election is worth the blood of any single person. So I think that's one of the things that we actually came here for, was to advocate for peace and for there to not be any violence. These politicians, they say they are friends with each other. The other day I saw that Magnus was at Toiko's party, and they were having good time. So I'm just trying to say, they all know each other. They are all friends, and so nobody should hurt anybody just because they are supporting anyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just this is to my brothers. This is particularly to Ogonis. We don't need to fight each other, kill ourselves. I saw what happened in Eleme just this week or last week, that somebody was maimed, caught with glass or whatever. Blood was everywhere. It ought not to be so.
Yeah.
Remember, after this election, we still remain in that place.
Yes.
We are still brothers. We are still sisters. We don't need to fight with guns, with knives, with bottles. The only thing, our voice, and to make our choice is with your PVC. After that, when the result is called, let us all accept whosoever emerge as the winner. We are still brothers and sisters. So let no bloodshed take place anymore. It doesn't worth it. As my brothers have said here, if you die today, it's only your own people that feel the pains.
Yeah.
The person you want to die for, sometimes it's only that day of your burial that they can only visit your family. And after they put you in that 6 feet, that is the end. Then your own people are the one that will feel the pain. So don't spill your blood for any politician. It has happened to me. When I lost my cousin because of a politician, what happened today? What happened to the parents of that my cousin? It doesn't worth it. Losing your life for any politician. No matter what they offer to you, no matter what they give you, it's just temporarily. Vote your conscience and go to your house. Don't carry knife. Don't carry gun. Don't carry bottle. I hope and I pray that we should come to the standard how American politics play. We only go to the pool, we cast our vote, and you go to your house and watch the result. When the result is called, that is it. Please, my brothers, my sisters, don't fight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
Brother Lawrence, if I endorse anybody, I'll let you know.
Oh, I hope you won't do that before it's too late. It's just next Saturday. You know.
Okay. I'll let you know if I do.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Please share the broadcast, leave your comments, and do your own part. Let your voice be heard. Let your PVC speak for you. Forget about the peanuts they are about to give to you. Don't get into fighting. You know, after election, life continues. And Nigeria is for us all to build. And I pray that God will give you the grace, all of us, to do the right thing so that we can have a better Nigeria. Uh, at this point, I want to say good night and long live Nigeria. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank